pop a commander in there so you get the little health stuff going. So let's look at what the planes have. They take additional health on the bombers. You could take additional health as well and double down on it, but speed is probably going to be your ally because juking flak in the FDR is miserable. So if we look at the rocket planes have 3,450 health. Okay, that's a lot. 3,940 on the torpedo planes, that's a lot. And 4,257 on the bombers because we have some additional health. If we chucked this in there, they'd have even more. They'd have 7.5% more, which would basically be a little over 4,000. So for the commander, we do have more, faster, healthier, stealthier. So this is going to reduce incoming flak damage by 25%, which when you see the damage dealt to planes, it should be post reduction. It shouldn't just be like the base. And then this is going to reduce continuous by 10%. It's a pretty basic build for every carrier. So what does that mean? To do 4,000 damage, but gonna have 10% reduced continuous, you're gonna have to do 4,400 damage to kill a single plane. All right, so let's look at the Holland, because we were just using the Holland, and it's considered an it's an AA ship. So we have plus 15% in slot 6. We have plus 10% in the commander. I don't think anything else on here actually affects that. So if we're looking at the continuous, raw continuous, 461 if you're within 10 kilometers, and 191 if you're, within 4 kilometers, and 191 between 4 and 6. And if you become closer, they're going to compound on top of each other. So it's 191 plus 461. So let's hop over to this real quick. All right, so we've got 461 out to 4. And then we've got 190 something? 191. Oh yeah, beautiful, beautiful drawing here. Ugh, that's real bad. Let's just not. Okay. Out to 4 kilometers and 191 out to 6. And these two can stack. So if they stack, 462, 552, 652. 62 DPS when stacked at 4 cam or less. Okay, so this is what that's going to do. Well, let's look at what multiplicative stuff does. So we've already had the commander skills and shit applied. That's already done. We have defensive fire. That's a 50% increase. So if we bump that up by 50%, that's another 326. 326. That's 78. So we've got 978 with defensive fire. And this is, of course, 4 kilometers or less. And then we've also got this priority sector mechanic, which deals instantaneous damage, so 5%. And then we've got a 10% action time where we go up to a bonus 35. So if we add a bonus 35 on there, we're just going to do easy math and say it's 1,300. So 1,300 a second. And then 5%. What's 5% of 4,000, basically, times 15? 14, sorry. 40,000 and another 16, so that's 56. Yay, math. And 5% of this. So 10% of this is 5,600. So 5% of that is, oh dear God. 5,600, it's 2,800. That feels low. That feels low, but whatever. So whenever you activate priority sector, this is the damage you deal directly off. And then you've got this when below 4 kilometers. And obviously we could do all the same math for this. It probably just ends up kicking out to, if this became that, then this probably ends up becoming about 550. So you deal this. This is just raw continuous. This is not flak. You hit your button, you deal this. He takes this for maybe 2 or 3 seconds. Then he starts taking this. That's one plane dead. And then we extrapolate this. This is roughly 3 seconds per plane. After that, with the 4K, So this plane will probably, first plane will probably die within 1.5, 2 seconds. Next plane will die in 3. Next plane will die in 3, etc. Flak is going to augment that, but what does Flak do? So if you've got your line of 14 planes, we'll just do this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever. So you got your 14 planes. Each of these has 4,000 health. They're individually tracked. So if you hit Flak for, say, 1,500 damage, or we'll say 2,200 over there, but we've got the Flak reduction talent on the thing, so we'll just easy number it, we'll say 2,000. So if you hit Flak on half of these planes, then what you ended up just doing is you dealt 2,000 to 14 different planes, which is like 28,000 damage, and you haven't killed anything. But if the planes choose to remain, stick around, now they're down to 2,000 health, and you deal 1,300 a second in a Holland, so you're going to kill one every 1.5 seconds. These are going to start losing planes very quickly, even more if they eat Flak again. If it's defensive fire Flak, it might just erase the planes by themselves, because defensive fire basically triples or quadruples the amount of Flak damage, in which case you can just start erasing shit. So the reason I explain all this is because we had somebody in chat saying, hey, I just did like 150,000 damage, I only killed 19 planes. Well, the reason why is this bullet sponged, but you only actually killed X amount of planes, or planes died, but your ship shooting the planes and another ship shooting the planes, this ship got the last hits instead of you. As far as the way that it used to be, just for a fun little lesson. So here's the Minotaur. It's going to have his short range, going to have mid range. Ugh, come on. Going to have mid range. Everybody says when I do this, it looks like the Eye of Sauron. Then you got long range. Now, the way that it used to be, Minotaur might have 1,100 damage out to long range, only 200 damage in the mid range, and say 400 damage in this, but they did not stack. So while you're flying around in the long range, your planes are getting ripped the fuck apart. But if you can derp around in the mid range while you're reloading or trying to re-angle, you take an extremely low amount, because Wargaming actually modeled all of the guns, their optimum ranges and shit like that. So you could actually hide from the high intensity areas of gunfire and try to work it into your attack plan. But this really overly involved, highly detail-oriented version of AA was too hard to explain at a glance. Rather than actually going, well, that's what the actual armament was, and that's what the actual armament did, people just want the AA to shoot down planes. So they went to the version where you've got a small amount, a medium amount, and then a heavy amount, and they all stack together. So 200 adds up, 600 adds up, 1,000. So people got it, it felt right, that's what they did.